holler at us at 614-781-0754. Lacaya, tell them the number again.
It is 614-781-0754.
So if you've been here in the man's voice, you got it in the woman's voice. You know, we got it going on here. We've been talking about a lot of stuff, man. We've been talking about a lot of stuff. We got Phillip Moore, the Afro Blogger, in the building. And I mean, he talks about everything. So let's just jump real quick into it, man. What did you talk about?
Man, I talked about fasting, politics, whatever. It was something that everybody was talking about. I had it not too sure.
Okay, so you talked about whatever it was.
Yeah.
All right, that works. So listen, man, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a couple of topics. So we're going to get the Afro Blogger to weigh in on it, man. We got to get to talk about it. So if y'all don't know, America, if y'all don't know, there was a situation that happened in Columbus, Ohio. We're going to talk about some bad parents real quick. So we got a parent that she was relatively young. I would say somewhere between her 18 and 24. And
I would say from the looks of her escort to the police car, she looked like she may be late 20s, early 30s. So she knew better.
Oh, okay. Well, I was trying to remember that. I don't know that. So listen, here's the thing about it. So here's the problem. She talks about parenting, and she got frustrated with her kids, as all parents do. You know, sometimes you just make you want to throw your kids out the window. You feel like you want to throw your kids out the window. You don't actually do it, but you feel like you want to throw your kids out the window or throw them down the steps. So just, do something violent to them. You feel like you want to do it. You don't actually, like I keep stressing, you feel like you want to do it.
But you don't.
You don't do it, because you got sense.
I call mama and say, hey, mama, babysit.
I'm going to kill this child.
Right.
You need to come get this child. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him.
Your sister, you call the guy, mommy.
Yeah. So here's the situation, America. Here's what goes down. What happens is she gets frustrated with her child. And then she proceeds to coach parents on what to do by going on Facebook and saying, you don't need to beat your parent. You don't need to beat your kid. You don't need to put them in timeout. All you need, and I think she was doing the hand clapping too, is all you need.
No, she was on the phone.
She's on the phone. I was just saying. But she wanted to, right. But she was like, all you need is some tape. And what she proceeded to do and demonstrate to all parents is when your child acts up, don't beat them, don't whoop them, tape them to the wall. And not only did she tape her son to the wall with clear tape.
Yeah, the packaging tape.
She had like UPS.
Packaging tape.
I'm about to move packaging tape.
Yep.
That was some major adhesive to it. And taped the boy's mouth shut. She had the boy taped to the wall. And if that wasn't crazy enough, she Facebook lived it as a parental demonstration of how to get your child
in check.
Needless to say, Channel 10 came on the news.
Wait. Channel 6 also called them.
Channel 6 also, and they called Family Services. And they came back and said, we were the ones that called Family Services on the news. That is just unacceptable. She proceeds to say, I don't know, I'm not letting y'all in. Then goes on Facebook and puts ABC, I think it's ABC 10, all of them, on blast, on the Facebook. Needless to say, the police came and arrested her and let the poor child off the wall. So, Phillip Moore, the Afro Blogger, tell us your thoughts, Wayne.
Man, she messed up all of it. Ain't no daddy getting the baby now. Daddy ain't got to pay no more child support.
The question is, do we know who the daddy is? That's the case for Maury.
Oh, God.
You know what she should do? She ain't got no control over her son. She can't control herself, so she got to go to jail. She got to, when she get out, if they let her out, they ain't going to have custody of her son, and she's going to have to go to some kind of classes.
Not that they let her out. You have to understand the culture. Most jails, You don't mess with children and old people. That is the guarantee. But
That's blasphemy too.
Yeah. So she's about to
let's
be.
hope that she at least makes it out.
Well, she ain't gonna be in the state. Well, she might be. You know, she might be in the state. The hoe. Cause somebody gonna have her up in prison. Like, yeah, you my hoe. Put your hand in my pocket.
With a black eye.
You said with a who?
With a black eye.
With a black eye. Yeah.
But she can't punch his head in her eye.
So, yeah, that's the situation that's happening. America, feel free to call it 624-781-0754 to tell us your thoughts on that, man. She taped her child to the wall.
Like, you ain't know with any other punishment.
I would have whooped their ass.
Maybe somebody should take her to the wall.
That would be cool. I would be up for that.
But I wouldn't use packaging tape. I use duct tape.
Man, taking that off your hand, your arm.
I'm using packaging tape.
But I mean, the fact that she takes the kid's mouth and then she started holding it in your mouth and he's up here trying to scream. Like, she's just agonizing.
You know,
Stop trying to have your kids, especially 2-year-old, be your friend. Be a parent and stop being a child's friend. And you have some control.
It's bad. It's bad. You know, when you got parents that's doing stuff like that, antagonizing kids, that's a whole nother thing. Discipline the child and leave them alone.
Right. I think my daughter got on my nerve when she was small. But never in my wildest dreams did I think I would pull out some packaging tape and take her to the wall.
I will say that's creative, though. That's creative because I'm to the man, the child is really bad. How the hell you pull off, like, catching him and keeping him still long enough?
Who else was involved in that?
Yeah, because you always
fighting like an adult.
Right. I mean, you gonna take the child to the wall, like,
and she takes him like Jesus Christ.
Huh? Yeah, she had him take.
Like his arm was out. Hey. So I mean, me being a parent, my daughter is 20 now, but even when she was 2. Touching her and then keeping her still enough to have her tape like this. I got a 2-year-old granddaughter that I'm not even trying to catch this particular point in time. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she had to have help with that. He was 2 years old. She taped him, a 2-year-old. I'm like, she couldn't have did that by herself.
Head and all.
Like, you can't keep a child still long enough
to do that much tape. You know, that little kid, like you said, the kid's going in and asking where he finds out who the daddy is. Child support is covered. So Section 8, bye-bye. So your cash assistance, then I got some of my tax money back. Maybe I'll see it on my page. But
that's right. Shout out to tax season. Yeah. I would be like, shout out to tax season.
Oh, yeah.
You know, yeah, man, it's awesome. All right, so moving on to the next story. We have a situation here. We got President Trump, man. And we talking about it because, you know, it happened today. You know, he's the new president. He has the lowest ratings of a president. I mean, America just doesn't like it. America doesn't like it. Now, we knew going in that between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, neither of them had favorable ratings. The majority of America did not like them. But to see Donald Trump in office, and there's so much protest that's happening about this. And you brought up a point earlier during the segment while we were on there playing music that the protests aren't really going to do anything now. But I think, in my opinion, I want to get your thoughts on this, Lacaya, as well. You know, is Donald Trump responsible for the racism in America? Absolutely not. I would say that. But what I would say is, as a leader, you are responsible for the influence that you have. Now, you're not responsible for the choices that people make, but you are responsible for the influence that you have as a leader. Yep. And so it bothers me when I watch Trump, his whole presidential campaign, and people have burnt down black churches. And they wrote on the side of the black church that they burnt down repeatedly. people died in it. Vote Trump. You've got people that are doing all kinds of things and fighting at protests, going to other protests and calling out Trump, and you've got people that are crap, and it's just so much is happening. You've got people doing a lot of instigating, a lot of stuff, and this is your legacy. This is when you can't even do your own rally because there are people anti you and they break out and fight. Ku Klux Klan people all of them, everybody. It's all about you. And even to the degree of, and I'm going to say this and I'm going to let you talk, even to the degree of saying, let's make America great again. You know, I'm sitting up here and I looked at the statistics, I looked at the numbers, I looked at what America has been doing. And while we are behind like in China in education, America has never been as great as it is right now. We are doing very well. Technology is in advance. The economy is on the climb. We've got more women, more people educated, and more women. Over 54% of educated people in the United States are women. And so there's still a lot of improvements we need to make. So America is already great right now. So when you say, let's make America great again, when America is already at the pinnacle of where it's been, it makes me wonder, are you really talking about America being great? Or looking at your results, are you really saying, let's make America white again? Afro Blogger, go ahead.
I look at it like something he does have responsibility in regards to what he's bringing about, because he's bringing out the extremists on both sides. It's not just the white extremists, he's bringing out all the extremists. All of them come together and they have a big old power. Oh, we're going to be doing this, and no, we're going to be doing that. And it's like, for them to, they got to just chill with all that. They got to go on a higher rate, a higher thinking, and get past what he's trying to do. Like, see, that's the animalistic. Animalistic instinct. Like, oh, yeah, let's get around it. Let's make America right again. Oh, no.
Because basically, that sounds like a code word to me. You say, let's make America great again. I feel you. It makes it sound like you're trying to make America white again. So what? You're ready to put back a cotton field and put it back in the field? I'm sorry, that ain't gonna work.
And when you listen to his rhetoric, we're gonna put up a wall. I mean,
and they're going to pay for it.
And they're gonna pay for it. And here's the thing about it. You know, when you as a leader start talking about divisiveness, you can't talk about divisiveness in your entire campaign. I mean, he was very disrespectful towards women. He was disrespectful towards blacks. He was disrespectful towards anybody that was not like Trump. You know, and you're going to be a leader of all kinds of people, and then after you win the race, then you want to talk about, okay, let's become united, but your whole platform has been divisive.
Right.
And when you look at his elections today, it is still divisive. Nowhere near the amount of people that were there for Obama. What are your thoughts, Blair?
Well, I think that what happened with the whole, everything that led up to the presidential election, it was split. Like, they systematically set it up to be, all the whites for Trump and then everybody else for Hillary. Because Hillary, she got a dark past too. I get her out papers and everything, like Monsanto, Walmart, everything. She worked with those companies.
Right.
I just seen dark side, some of that stuff. I said, you know what, I'm not doing journalism because I don't even live that lifestyle.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, yeah, go ahead.
But Trump is like, I think he's going to flip flop. I think he was doing that rah, getting everybody all riled up. And let me get those votes because she's got these votes. I need to do a certain thing to make sure I get the right votes. Even though it was the electoral college that ended up putting him in office, he had to get the rah to get people like, okay, yeah, that's who we want. We want that guy. We don't care what he's talking about.
It sounds right, but he sounds crazy. But we're going to roll with him because he's going to make America great again. I mean, I'm sorry. We've already great. We've always been great. We're getting better as time has gone by. Stop trying to put a divide. So what, you're going to put a wall up and then you're going to put a wall up within us? I mean, because that's all you're doing. You're dividing men against women. Then you're dividing black against white, Latinos and Asians. Then you've already singled out the LGBT community as well as the handicapped community. So, I mean, like... Military
disabled.
Right.
I mean, you're going to be the commander-in-chief.
And you done mark everybody. Like, you talking about grabbing, really? Who does that?
You know? So here's the thought that I had because it really bothered me. And in America, we're having this conversation. This is Friday night. Yeah, you get ready, and I want you to keep getting ready. Keep getting that girl, get that blouse tight. You know, show that cleavage, girl, if you got it. And if you ain't got it, just, get the push-up bra, girl. Get the push-up bra. We'll keep this going. But this is a conversation at some point you want to be talking about it. And not to get people around, it is what it is. He's the president. And, so I'm not going to be one of those people. I'm not going to be one of those people who is like, this is not my president. Yes, you are my president. I'm an American. I live in America. And you are a United States president. You're not my choice. You're not my pick. But I do accept you as my president because you are my president. And I mean, that's just the fact of the matter. However, with that being said, I have concerns that, when we looked at President Obama in 2008, everybody was of the notion racism is gone. We have a black president that is in America, and true, with all rights of purpose, white people, black people, Latino people, Asian people, everybody voted for President Obama. And so with that being said, kudos to him, but the major deception was that racism was gone. And when I look at President Obama's legacy, the Affordable Health Care Act, which is really, here's the one thing I like. I'm just going to call it spade a spade. They did not think he was going to win. And then he won. And then not only did he have the audacity to win once, he had the audacity to win twice. And when he won, he has now what they call Obama, what they've affectionately called Obamacare. And I really hate the term because I was actually talking to a student and they were asking me about it, and I said I don't know what they're going to do with the Affordable Health Care Act. And she was like, no, I'm talking about, and this is a black person, by the way. And she said, no, I'm talking about Obamacare. And I said, that's what the Affordable Health Care Act is. It's what you're calling Obamacare, but it's called the Affordable Health Care Act. She was like, no, I just want to know about Obamacare, not the Affordable Health. And I said, they are the same. She was like, that's not what they say on TV. And this is a black woman that I'm talking to. But here's the problem that I have when you come into office, and it's not just Trump. He ran his whole premise, but everybody has been, any Republican has been running against, whether it was 2012 with Mitt Romney and the Republican candidates of all 2012, and then now all the Republican candidates for this presidential campaign. They've all been talking about Obamacare. Now, I'm going to be honest. We're going to just call a spade a spade. Obamacare is not the greatest health care plan out there. It's very expensive, especially on the middle class, because it's the middle class that has to pay for it. For all those who don't understand about it, it's the middle class that's really paying for Obamacare. So our health care is very, very high when you participate in the Affordable Health Care Act. But it benefits the elderly and as also the low income as well. So with that being said, when you come into office and you want to get rid of it and you have it on the floor to get rid of this health care plan, which I admit is not the best health care plan, but you don't have an alternative.
I can see
there's a problem.
But not get rid of it.
Well, again, get rid of it if you want to. If you have the power to get rid of it, get rid of it. But the problem that I have with it is you don't have an alternative. You just want to get rid of it for the sake of what? You don't have an alternative.
Well, that's where I feel like I'm getting. It's a lot of this way and that way talking in regards to it. I've seen where they were talking about they don't want to get rid of it, but they do want to change it. So I've seen that talk at the same time.
Yeah, but now he wants to completely get rid of it. Because at one point he was like, oh, I see where it's working. We're going to keep it. We might do some tweaking. And then all of a sudden it was like, my first 100 days, I'm signing that out. Like, and he's in process of that from what I saw on CNN today. So, I mean,
he's flip-flop. I'm going to be honest with you. He's flip-flop. One moment he changed all of it. Another party comes and says, well, let's change some of it. But then you got a whole other party, you got the Republican Party saying, we need to get rid of it. But the problem that I have is, and again, if you want to change it, if you want to get rid of it, do whatever it is you want to do. But have alternatives. But to get rid of something that is right now stable, right now in place,
and it's helping
people are helping, and it's helping millions, and you get rid of it with no other plan. To me, I'm just going to say what it is. This is a spite against President Obama. This is not about helping the American people. This is not about helping people that need help. This is not about giving assistance to the citizens, whether old, young, low income. This is specifically, we had a president and we want to get, we had a black president and we want to get rid of this. And this is what he wants to do. This is a spite against President Obama, and the American people are going to pay for it. Afro Blogger, what do you think about it?
Man, I think they're not going to be able to get rid of it completely. What they'll end up doing is making changes to it, because it's not just them. They can't just say, oh, we're completely getting rid of this. You got the Senate, Congress, you got the Democratic Party, you got the,
but it's all controlled.
It's all controlled
by the Republican Party.
But that's still okay. They do have to get majority of the votes and everything.
Yeah, so I mean,
that doesn't mean that they're going to get the majority of the votes to completely wipe it out. They're not going to be able to completely wipe it out.
Well, you know something, I would think that until Donald Trump won.
Yeah.
And I sit down, and when I know Donald Trump won against the odds, and now the odds are in the Republican favor for they control the Congress and they control the Senate. And so when Donald Trump can win against the odds, it makes me pause when I think about what they're saying. We're going to get rid of stuff. I'm like, yeah, they can get rid of it without having the Democratic support, because they are the majority.
But you have to think about with the election and everything, like it was Hillary versus Donald, and when I did my research and everything to really see everything that they have for them, they were both like.
Hillary had the popular.
She got the popular vote, but Donald got the electoral. The real reason it all changed and everything is because